You dive. Wind rushes past your face as the sea of black sand spreads out before you. The translucent bubbles of colony dome cities dot the landscape. You're rejoining the Earth your people left behind. You just wish this time wasn't so dire. Your island is sinking. Can you save it?
What's going on, YouTube? Earth Power here with Gorby.
Hello.
We are back for another Dust to Dust 1v1. So we've got the Fortify set brought to you by the rulebook. There's 9 sets in the actual rule thing if you want to go find it while I set up the table here.
9 sets. Of course, one beginner set, which we showcased in the last video. So be sure to check that out. There's you can kind of make it the Interfere, the Sacrifice, the Provide, the Revive, the Fortify, which is what we're playing, the Crystallize, the Assault, and the Enforce sets. And the names are sort of giveaways as to what the main theme is here, or for each set. Just looking at the cards as Carl's sort of laying them out here, there's a lot of really, really strong attackers, and a lot of decently solid shields. Pedal Wing Strider for some early Mountaintop Taurus, late game Fortification. War Rhino General also acts as a shield, buy him or charge him. Hive Mind Drones is great defense against all these attacks that are forcing you to discard cards from your hand. Just plenty of aggression. I mean, City Militia is about as aggressive as it gets, honestly.
Yeah.
Dust Seeker Drones, Poison Hand, War Rhino again as an attacker. And then this card, Vineclaw Wolf, is going to be kind of important in this game. So keep an eye on him.
I like Vineclaw Wolf and a lot of, and just in matches in general, I like it being part of the pool, just because it doesn't let shields get out. It's an easy card to just kind of weave into almost any set that you're playing with, especially when there are powerful shields like Mountaintop Tortoise, where you want to be able to get them off the board.
Yeah, something like Vineclaw. There's also Light Lance Cavalry, I think it's called.
Yes, where it's
from
every
from
player
the
on the
Machina
board.
set, the Colony set rather. That one just nuke all shields from orbit.
Yeah, essentially what it says.
So I'm shuffling up in my hand here the all
relics.
important relics.
Yes.
Carl, would you like to do
I cut to 5. Actually, know that. And
the reveal?
Double Cloak and
Mock.
Alright, cool. So we got a couple of new ones that we didn't see in the last video. Again, we did a relic review, so if you guys are wondering what these cards do, we're going to explain them again, but you should go also watch that video. Noble Cloak increases your minimum hand size to 4 cards. That way you can't have less than 4 cards in your hand to start your turn. And then the Mock Wings, you may retrieve 1 card of a different name from Dust. So basically, Mock Wings is making you dust a card every turn because that's what relics do. You can grab any card other than the card you dusted that turn. Alright, and I guess since I lost in the last one, I'm going to choose to go first.
Spoilers.
So take that. They watched it.
Hey, better
If you
watch
didn't,
it.
yeah, go watch me get my butt handed to me by a very efficient deck Gorby put together.
You better be watching the videos, and you better be checking out the Kickstarter and throwing some backing money at it.
Yeah.
Because we want this in your guys' hands. We want you to be able to experience everything we do with this game, because it is just next level. It's so fun. A little bit of glare on the fern tip. But that's okay.
Bring them up. That's right for you guys, because we're there.
That's a little bit angry. Actually. I think it's just that card.
It's fine.
Yeah. So the fern tip here.
Perfect.
Don't forget.
Alright.
You
So,
got a better turn one by than last time.
I think so. I think I'm going to try to be a little bit more aggressive this time around. So we are going to start this turn by dusting a fusion fragment and 4 spending on a War Rhino General.
Okay.
So, and that's going to be our turn. So again, if I was going to do this correctly, my energy cells would get placed down here, and there's 4, and then I will buy the War Rhino. All that goes to the discard, and I draw my new hand.
Let's see here. Let's see, what am I going
Do it. Do it. Just thinking about doing it.
I don't think I can just like full send CBH style dust a whole bunch. That being said, I'm going to dust an energy cell.
Okay. Alright.
I've got a 4 by myself.
Alright.
I am going to get a Hive Mind Drones.
It's all back.
I'm going to early defense. Draw my 5.
I think I am going to do something very similar again. We are going to dust a fusion fragment, and we are going to force spend on Hive Mind as well.
Okay. Right. So I said I wasn't going to go crazy CDH style. But because I had 5 energy in my hand last turn, that means I only get 3 this turn. So it's a good idea, I think, to go ahead and just dust a fusion fragment. Just to sort of get that out of my hand. There's not a whole lot of retrieval right now. You got Dust Seeker drones, you got War Rhino General. So getting those back later, I think, is going to be a good idea. But right now, getting rid of your fusion fragments early, I think, is a very good play. Carl was able to get rid of both of his right away, which is really nice.
We'll come back for him.
So I've got a 3 by my energy cells.
Yep.
I will pick up, I believe, Dome City Militia. Let's double check this file. Oh yeah. Militia time. Right. Now the turn is back to Mr. Michoto.
We are going to start this turn by playing an efficient Hive Mind Runes. Draw a card.
Son.
We're going to play. Let's think about this for a moment, guys. We're going to bust an energy cell. We're going to 1, 2, 3, 4. Hive Mind Runes provides 1. We're going to buy a Fern Tip, a Dome City Militia.
Okay.
And I will draw 1, 2, 3, 4, and I have to shuffle my discard. This is what I wanted. Now he doesn't know if I'm going to draw my Hive.
There's no way.
Lasers.
Right, so I'm going to dust my fusion fragments, and now both of us are totally out.
No victory.
Lead off with a Dome City Militia.
Okay, what are you going to choose?
I'm going to choose to draw 2 and make you discard 1.
Discard an energy cell.
2.
Dang it, Hive Mind Runes.
I have 5 energy cells.
Yes.
I am going to buy myself a... Buy a Metalwing Strider. Am I? Think about this.
It's always tough, right?
Yeah.
You know, you never know if you want to buy the big stuff. Like, I had the option to possibly buy Dust Seeker Drones or Mountaintop Tortoise, and I went for the less expensive buys just to try to get a little bit more deck fleshed out for this early game. I don't know if that's actually going to pay off. Tough call. Getting energy with this set seems difficult. Like, getting to the relic part of this is...
You're not going to be stringing together like super huge combos unless you hit the right sort of. So I think it might just be Fuse Gate. Fuse Gate's probably right.
Get tricky.
I will 1, 2, 3 shuffle up. 4, 5.
So for my turn, for my action, I will War Rhino General and charge my shield, and then play 3 energy. With my 3, I will grab another City Militia. That will be turn, draw, and my shield for the end of the turn.
Off of the Hive Mind Drones. Card. To my Fuse Gate Keeper.
Efficient. Next thing he
Fortunately, I'm all out of allies. But I do have a 6 by. And it's turtle time.
Oh boy. It's turtle. Now we get to see if this pays. Start our War Rhino. Either choose an opponent to dust 1 card from or card from dust. Actually, I think I'll wait on that effect. We're gonna be smart here. Hive Mind Drones first. Okay, draw a card. Burn tip here. Back. So, tip efficient. We are going to Dome City Militia. We are going to discard 2 cards and then draw 1.
I will discard.
Oh, he
Hive
had
Mind
it.
Drones.
He had it.
And Hive Mind Drones effect. If you discard or dust this ally on an opponent's turn, you may recruit a copy from Earth to your hand. So it just replaces itself. Of course, I have to resolve the full militia effect first. I can't just go like, discard drones, trigger drones, discard another one. That's not enough. So I'll discard an energy cell. Recruit. God, come here. Drones.
I think we're going to use your Rhino's attack now to attack Gorby again, and we will force him to dust a card from his hand. Let's see what.
Have cards in hand. So.
See, 1, 2, 3 energy. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ooh, we got the 8 by. So I think we're going to go for a relic.
8's just swinging at me.
Start off with the Mocklings.
Okay. So that is retrieve a different name card from dust, correct?
Yes, dust a card from my hand every turn and then retrieve a different card than the card I.
Flip up the Founder's Ring. Back from the first game. Alright. I'm going to lead off on the Hive Mind Drones. Draw a card. I will play a Fuse Gatekeeper. You draw a efficient to the next ally this turn. Dome City Militia. I will draw 2 and choose card off the discard 1. And have
Card a militia.
2. Huge hit. Ally action this turn. I'm going to charge my Mountaintop Tortoise. 1, 2, 3, 4 energy total. I am going by Fuse Gate. That.
Start off. Lockling force me to dust a card. Energy cell. Back a few fragments. Or we shuffling the deck because then we are going to.
Ooh. 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, do your worst.
We are going to. Or we dust a card from his hand.
So.
We are going to do Militia. I will draw 2 cards and card 1 card.
Discarding the drones.
Alright. Home City was my ally action for the turn. Continue to be efficient with Hive Mind Drones. Spin 1, 2, 3 energy. 3, 4, 5. Grab a Vine Claw Wolf. That'll be.
Alright. So, Carl knows I have this. So we'll go ahead and read off the Hive Mind Drones. We will Dome City Militia. Force card Carl to discard 2 itself.
We'll block.
Card. Play other Hive Mind Drones. Card. Fuse Gatekeeper. Draw card. This is correct.
It went it. This game's about to get very different in turns.
Then 4 energy cells, 2 energy from drones, 2 from my tortoise. We get the
For him. So he can't have less than 4 cards when he starts his turn.
the gatekeep.
That's about to be a really good run.
2 here. Don't mess with me. 3 here.
Alright, so start my turn. Lock me. Dust a card. Hit. Fragment. Start off with a Dome City. I will choose to draw 2 and force you to discard 1.
Out of Hive Minds.
You did it. Okay. Well, 4 by 2, 3, 4. Gatekeeper. Yes. Discard the other cards from my hand. Do the turn.
So, start with my turn. I have to dust for my Noble Cloak, so I'll get Energy Cell. Keeper. Card. City Militia. I'll discard 2. Now 1.
Discard Fusion Fragment and so.
Hive Mind Drones. Drones. Here's Gatekeeper. Another 8.
Wow.
See. Gatekeep would be really good. Add more expensive cards like Dome City.
However,
But
butts.
split it up. So, in hand Chancellor. City Militia.
He's gonna get aggressive.
A little bit aggressive here. Draw. Right. Do your worst.
Aqua Energy Cell. Fragment. Hive Mind Drones, draw a card. Mind Claw Wolf. Blockable, choose an opponent to discard an active shield. If you discard a shield, energy.
This is gone.
That'll be a 4-buy for the turn. I will grab a 8. That will be my turn.
Right. Start of my turn. Little dust for the Noble Cloak. I'll get an energy cell. To lead off on a High Drones, draw a card. Play Home City Militia. Target Carl, making discard 2. 1. Fuse Gatekeeper. Card. Ally Efficient. Poison Hand Chancellor. Draw 1 and make discard 1. Drones. Card. Drones. Draw a card. Fuse Gatekeeper.
Happening again.
Already used.
Alright. Yep.
But
Oh yeah, because you're official.
So
I have a minimum hand size. I need
Home City.
Yep.
Discard 2. Or no.
draw 2, or do you want to discard?
It's that. This is efficient. I will discard 1. 2. I have Mind Drones.
Draw.
So Gatekeeper.
Buys us out of our
Snake
second. So the other win condition in the game that I don't really touch on all that much. 3 of these piles go dry. That triggers the end game. Close. Could just trigger the end game.
Good. That's a terrible idea. Because you have so many fusion fragments, and I would just get thrashed. I think what I'm going to do instead is buy the gate key. That'll be that.
Everything goes to the discard pile that we just shuffled up. All's 5.
6. No, 5. Thought about the Founder's Ring for a second.
Oh, yeah. Minimum. All 1 card for your discard. Also neat. Alright, so. Going to Mocklings. That'll dust a card. I'll get back an energy cell. Going to Fuse Gatekeeper to be efficient. Draw a card. Efficient to the next ally. I play this turn. Will be Dome City Militia. I will draw 1. Thank you to discard 2. So your starting hand size is 6, right?
No, minimum hand size is 4.
Okay. How many cards do you have?
5. I discard 2. I get.
Alright, so then I want to draw 2 cards and just discard 1.
Okay.
And
And
remember, if you're doing the weird shit.
discard a draw.
5 Mind Drones to draw a card. Do more neat stuff. I'm in a tough spot because I want to not getting a ton of energy out of every turn. My hand's once again gone to the dark side of just not being very efficient because I can't seem to think of my turns at a time. So, I think what we're going to do here is for my ally action for the turn, we are just going to play the War Rhino General. Back Fusion Fragment.
Okay.
And then with my 1 energy for the turn, I'm going to 3-buy. Dome City.
Okay. So, start of my turn, I have to adjust 2. And so this is where like things like the Noble Cloak can get a little tricky, right?
Yeah.
So my starting hand is 4. So my turn is already started. So I'm dusting 2 from my hand. That doesn't mean I get to draw back up to 4. So I'm going to dust an energy cell, and I am going to.
The gatekeep says what again? I'm sorry.
The first ally I play this turn
Is
is efficient.
Got it.
So I will dust a 5 Mind Drones.
Oh, here goes.
So I'm going to lead off with a Poisoned Hand Chancellor that is efficient. I'm going to draw 2.
Oh, alright. All effects.
Going to Fuse Gatekeeper to draw a card,
Add efficient to the next thing he plays.
which is going to be this Dome City Militia. I'm going to make Carl discard 1, and I will draw 2.
Discarding. Discard the Fusion Fragment.
2. It's nice. Fuse Gatekeeper. Card.
At me.
5 Mind Drones. Or no. Sorry.
Oh yeah, because your next non-efficient thing can be efficient. It puts a wrinkle in the thing.
It really does.
This is neat though, because like thinking about stuff like this, because it kind of falls into a few of my last turns too. Like understanding your turn progression and like drawing into certain things at certain times. Like that's where a lot of the finesse of this game comes from.
I'm going to play my mountaintop tortoise.
Okay, so he's just playing it for the outright energy.
To play a hive mind drones to draw a card.
Yep.
Out of actions now.
There you go.
Sam. No.
Efficient from your first one because
efficient.
of key. Efficient. Yeah.
So don't say.
Okay. Now what am I doing?
Discard 1, I'll draw 2.
Okay. So I will discard. So.
Great. I will draw my last card in my deck. Hive mind and discard. Back to the deck to draw. So hive mind, and 2 energy cells.
1, 2, 7,
1, 2, 3.
Oh, 8.
6.
Yeah, wow,
7,
8.
8.
Alright.
So I could potentially trigger the end game here.
Trigger the end game in a few different ways.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I don't think you're in a good spot. Which is weird, because it's and here's another one of those just again neat thing about this game is that see how efficient Gorby has been over the past, handful of turns, cycling through his deck each time fully, and still has an ally action if he wanted to. But just you can. That's his whole deck. That's everything. Only got a max of 10 victory points. He's seen me grab at least 3 of these. Plus, I have Mock Wings, which means I can match him in victory. I can go over it. And
Buy mountaintop tortoise. And I buy a zip hair.
fancy.
It's my turn.
So, Mock Wings, dust a card of a different name. Dust and the drones. I want. Alright, now I start my turn. We'll start off with Fuse Gate. I don't have a deck, so shuffle this bad boy up. Draw a card. First, add efficient to the next ally, which will be Dome City Militia. I will force him to discard a card. And draw 2.
Discard. Discard my.
Play Dome City, and I will draw 2 again, and you discard a card, and then have to draw back up first.
In that case, discard the mountaintop tortoise.
For my 1 dust this turn, I will dust the energy cell. With no energy for my turn, I will end my 5. So he starts his turn off by dusting cards.
Let's see. Tip.
So he starts his turn.
Start on Dome City. Discard 2. Or no, discard 1 and I'll. Excuse me.
This card will be a few dragons.
Okay. And Fuse Gatekeeper to draw a card. Discard.
Bunch of few.
I'm going to charge Taltor's efficient allocation from my Fuse Gate.
He saw the Vine Claw Wolf in my discard, which making it feel a little safe.
So yep. 4. Fuse Gate, draw a card.
So the tortoise is efficient, correct?
Yes.
So then it's already face up then.
Is it? Okay.
Efficient shield charging to be done.
Hive Mind Drones. Card. Still efficient so far. Hand Chancellor. 2. 2 energy. So do I get the energy from this as well since it's efficient?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, that's how that plays.
Stuff.
It's the same thing as with Petal Wing Strider, because he's efficient the turn you play him, so he's auto shield and he gives you a turn you. How many?
6.
6 bucks.
I'm gonna get Seeker Drones.
Good guy. Start off this turn. Dusting. So. Start this party off. Hive Mind card. Mind drones. Card.
Awful familiar.
Gatekeeper. Card. Efficient to the next thing. Play. The City Militia. Discard a card. 2.
Discard a drones.
The tough call here is if I want to end the game or not. I'm afraid we're going to end tying. I think if I buy this last relic, that puts 16 and 12. So the worst he could do possibly get a turn unless he just that's what I don't think. I can't remember what happens if you tie. Oh, or I decide that this is the play I want to make. Then that way we can prolong this game a little bit longer. We are consulting the rule book. That's what you do it for.
2 players tie for the most victory points. The player with the most relics wins.
Rough.
If both players have the same number of victory points and relics, the player with the most allies wins.
Alright, so I don't want to end the game yet. Basically, what it's got at. So. Alright, so we're going to do the cute way then. We're going to War Rhino General. It is my ally action for the turn because Dome City was efficient off. Okay. We are going to retrieve a card from Dust. Hide my drones. Hide my drones. Nothing to draw, so we're going to shuffle this card. Card. Hide my drones. Not what I wanted it to be. However, I have 8 now. Energy, 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 energy. 8. Bank. Smart here. It's the end.
Alright, start of my turn. To dust drones. And I'm going to dust a Dome City Militia. Off on a Poison Hand Chancellor, draw 2.
Efficient because it's nice.
Will dust Secret Drones.
Dust one.
Dust 1 card.
Rude. In this case, it'll be Dome City.
Retrieve a card from dust. I'm going to play my drones. Card. City. Carl. Discard 1. Draw 2.
Fusion.
2. Gatekeeper. Still visible.
Yeah, you're careful.
A card. Ally is efficient, so I will charge the mountaintop tortoise on top of my mountaintop.
It's a lot of energy.
Play another fuse gate. Discard down. 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How do I want to do this?
It's a weird victory point scramble.
Trigger the end.
Inspect.
Fuse gate. Dust Secret Drones.
Taking the drones?
Oh shit, I don't get another turn after this, do I?
You don't? Yeah.
Damn, I thought I had another turn. That's bad.
No, you trigger the end game and that's it. I get one last turn to make it up. Yeah. It's like maybe you need something I didn't know.
Well, I'm still gonna get a Dust Seeker. I need to prolong this game just a little bit. Dust Seeker. Unfusion. But I gotta do sometimes. Just stay there. Let me think about it. Instead,
My turn starts off with Mock Link. Dusting a card from my hand. Back. City. He is done shuffling. So hit him.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Right in the Dome City Militia. Card 1. Draw 2.
Discard a general.
Keeper. Deck. So I have to shuffle up. Draw a card. Hopefully I draw something to become efficient. That would be neat. This card I play is efficient, but already had efficient. High drones. 1. Oh, 1 energy buy.
Energy cell bud.
Discard.
Okay.
That's the hand.
Start of my turn. Going to dust an energy cell.
Yep.
So Dome City.
Yep.
Get off on the poison hand to draw 2. Drones. Draw a card.
Deck proving to be incredibly efficient.
Keeper. Card.
It's gonna be this one. Hold up and
Dust Secret Drones.
dust a card.
Dust a card. Back to hand. Some math.
Move on. Another one of those instances of fuse gate make
With the front tip. Play the front tip hair.
can't. Everything's been efficient so far.
Yeah.
Never mind. Okay, you're good. Sorry, I kept thinking that this game, so never mind. You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good.
Front tip. I'll get it efficient by getting yourself back.
Yep.
Use Gatekeeper. Card. Add mine drones. Dust Secret Drones. Card out of your hand. Take the Line Club Wolf back. Play it since everything's efficient so far.
Yeah.
2 energy cells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 14.
This might be in game.
So, 14, I'm going to buy a Founder's Ring.
Just trying to do Okay, no, 16's a sweeter number for that. Okay.
I'm going to buy a Founder's Ring. I'm going to buy a Fusion Fragment. And I'm going to get a Winged Strider.
So I think, and just for future reference too, not that anybody you're playing a board game night with is going to be a rule shark, but the minute the last relic is bought, I think that ends your turn, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So I think you have to buy into the relic to
Okay.
do your thing. Yeah.
So,
but
I say I did it that way.
right.
I forgot these were worth energy here. That was fucking me up. I just looked at
Oh,
those.
wow.
I could have been way further ahead.
Yeah. Yeah.
So well, I don't think they're worth energy in the final revision of the game. So
fair enough. But but no, that was a single energy that you were getting every turn that we weren't. Yeah, until you just mentioned it, I didn't even think about it.
Oh well,
yeah.
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter because I think that puts you relatively far ahead. All right. So now with my whole turn, I can't even buy anything. I've dug myself into a hole that I didn't realize I was going to need to get myself out of. To discard Fusion Fragment. I think this is correct. Stick with me. I'm going through a few different lines here, I think.
Okay.
We're going to get a Fern Tip. We're going to play Fern Tip and get an energy.
Okay.
Gnome City. All 2.
Discard 1.
Yep. Hive Mind Drone. Let's draw a card. It didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to, but it is. Yeah, 3 energy, so that's 5. Let's grab the Fusion Fragment. Trying to do cute stuff, but we ended up with the fragment. So, that is the game. So, now we count victory points.
I think it's still closer than it should be. Because Carl keeps flooding his deck with Fusion Fragments.
That's all I know how to do, man. That's all I got. Stack of them. Yeah. Jeez. It's that Hive Mind Drone that got out of hand, like, way too early.
Yeah.
And I didn't want it to, and then it did. And then I just couldn't find a way to get past 4 energy for the rest of the game. I just kept getting attacked now. So you've got
4, 8, 12, 16, 18.
Got 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16.
Oh, man.
It was close again.
Yeah.
But that sweet spot, like we were mentioning in some of the past videos, that 17 to 20 range is usually the winning formula there.
No.
I just couldn't find it. You saw me go 3 turns towards the end of that game there where I just didn't have a buy because I just didn't have the cards I was playing provided energy. And then you got 2 mountaintop tortoises going, and that was just that's what propelled the story needed to go. But yeah, that's the game, guys. Game.
I think best buy of the game for me were the 2 Dust Seekers at the very end.
Towards the end, yeah. So forcing me to dust, and because that's the thing, being able to attack your opponent while also being able to fuel your strategy is such a big swing. Like where it minuses them 1 and nets you 1, I think it's very big, especially at the end game, especially in these 1v1 where the game's a little bit different. Just being able to continue to keep yourself going while you saw, like, I only had 1 relic, but Gorby getting me down to 3 cards in my hand every turn was just nightmarish. And looking back at it, if I had been able to grab the minimum hand size 4 card early before Gorby got to it, that probably would have changed things a little bit. But you saw how well it affected you. Like, I was never wanting to Dome City more than 2 cards out of your hand because you were always going to start with 4.
Well, I think
that
part
was
of
so
that,
powerful.
Part of that was because you needed the dig.
Yeah.
You needed the draw 2 from the Dome City rather than forcing me to start my turn on the back foot.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to blow up your spot here.
No, do it.
But you did buy the first relic.
Did I buy the first relic?
Yeah.
And I
bought Mockwings first.
And I chose Mockwings over the minimum size 4. So again.
So one thing to note with Mockwings, it is a mega effect. You don't have to take anything back. You didn't have to fill yourself up with Fusion Fragments. Not that it didn't pay dividends in the end, because you were close to winning.
Yeah.
But in a game where you don't have Blacksmith in particular, filling the deck up with fragments stifles your buy phase.
Yeah. And I think that, just looking at the final turn there, I obviously dusted this to grab Burnt It to try to fuel a little bit of a strategy. If Dome City, like, if I had known what the top two cards were, that they were going to be two efficient cards in Fuse Gate and Hive Mind Drones, like, I might have just been able to have got to 4. Because I had Dome City in my hand. I think the final hand was these two and the Fusion Fragment. And I think if I had just Fuse Gated into Dome City, drawn 2, and then gotten Hive Mind or the energy or whatever I ended up doing towards the end, because I think I had 4 or 5 energy, I just kept that. I could have tied with Gorby. He would have won, obviously, the relic option, but could have at least tied him. See, but it's one of those things with so many just different little micro lines. Attention to. I once again just dug myself into the hole of just grabbing cards and really strategy. I mean, talk about your mindset, because obviously, like, you've now put together, and the people have now seen you do 2 strategies, essentially cycle through your entire deck every turn. So what is that mindset going into it? Like, what are the cards you're digging for, at least early, to put something like that together?
I mean, early in this set, I really wanted to make sure I got Dome City Militia online. All of my dusted since then. Getting Dome City and Hive Mind Drones in particular early were sort of my focus. Because this is such an attack-heavy set, having drones as an option. You saw how
you guys
laid out huge.
Literally just watched it. Yeah,
I think I ended up with 4 of them at one point
I
started having dusting them.
Yeah, because I only had the one in my deck that I never seemed to see when you were attacking me.
So, getting Dome City and Hive Mind in particular off the ground first, and then getting Fuse Gates to start setting up some of these bigger creatures. And the Gate Key was sort of icing on the cake.
Yeah.
It's a great relic in this set in particular. Because, the things that do have efficient are good, but they're mostly setup-y type cards. Being able to lead off on a poison hand, fill my hand for 2 cards after being attacked by Carl Dust, super integral to my success. So, I mean, the Gate Key.
You guys saw it. I was putting him down to his minimum hand size, and even though he was dusting 2 cards to start, he was still cycling his whole deck with the cards he was starting every. So
the progression I really wanted to see was like Dome City and Hive Mind into Fuse Gate, into either Poison Hand or Mountaintop Tortoise. And I ended up selecting the Mountaintop Tortoise. It paid out pretty well, especially with the victory.
It pushed you over the edge.
And then after that, it was just making sure I can assemble and continually flesh out the strategy a bit.
And I think that speaks to
the Dust Seeker drones in particular in the end game are going to be very, very valuable.
Well, you talk about the end game too. And not to keep pushing this into the ground, but there was a turn there right before the Dust Seeker drones buys, probably like 3 or 4 turns before we actually came, where you could have just grabbed your 3rd relic. There was that moment there where it was like, oh, I can just grab my 3rd relic and this could be the end. But then the thought process was, oh, well, if I do that, I still get a final turn, and say you're giving me now the final turn to just try to scrounge up as much points to push my Fusion Fragment line in. And I think you just realized that the longer you made the game, the harder it was going to be for you to continue to keep up.
Pretty much, yeah. Like being able to squeeze out those extra, 3 turns because of the Dust Seeker drone buys, definitely was what pushed me over the edge. You talked about sequencing a little bit too. You saw in my last turn, I sort of agonized over the Vine Claw versus Fern Tip here. I think in a situation like that, ultimately, I don't think it would have mattered.
Especially,
I had enough things to give Vine Claw Wolf efficient that I could play it at a point. But if you're ever unsure, I think a good rule to just sort of hedge against is pick the efficient card. Especially because I knew I was going to be retrieving that Vine Claw at some point anyway. I knew the 2nd Dust Seeker drones was still in deck, and I was potentially getting my Rhino General as well, depending on order.
There were a few cards to cycle the dust pile a little bit for you, and you talk about just proper sequencing. Like at that point, what was in a couple of last turns that you took at the end there, when we realized we had the extra energy with the relics too that we weren't even playing with, but your 2nd and 3rd from last turns, you had a 14 buy and an almost 15 or 16 buy. Yeah, and that's just obnoxious. Like, it's really.
Yeah, it was a 10 buy and a 14 buy. So I bought the Dust Seeker and the Fusion back then. 14 was.
And 14's another neat thing too, because you don't even have to buy a relic. You can just buy a Mountaintop Tortoise and 2 Fusion Fragments, and that's 6 victory points on a 14 buy. Like, how crazy is that? And that's something I was trying to think of when we were considering the buy, and then obviously the option was the Dust Seeker to go into whatever you need to. But it's just one of those neat little things of like, oh crap, if he just grabs 6 victory points here, I'm not going to be able to do anything on my next turn. He doesn't know what I'm going to do on my turn, but that's my whole thought process. So it's like, if he does that, I just scoop it up. This is TCG stuff at this point. I'm like, all right, next game. Let's hit game 2. Let's go. So it's neat stuff like that. So yeah, what a cool game. So all the different lines that could have played here, and you saw his super efficient thing, and then try to go this route and then fizzle out. It's super neat and strong up until the end, but you have an opponent who knows how to read the board right, and all of a sudden, this strategy just peaks and then just right off the table. So cool stuff, man.
Absolutely.
That's all I've got. So any final thoughts before we send off?
No, I mean, if you guys want to see more, 1v1 content like this, or if you want to see some more of the pre-made sets being played with, we'd be super interested in getting that done for you.
Yeah.
I remember, I think it was the beginning of the video, we sort of outlined which ones they were.
Yep.
You can't really quite make it out on the rulebook to see what cards are in there. But if any of the names sounded cool, like I know we were looking at the Crystallized set for a little while to see if we wanted that. The Revive set looks really neat. Salt set.
Not that this wasn't super assault heavy.
Yeah, really. But just a lot of really cool options. We maybe could get enough people together to showcase the draft as well, to show that process.
Yeah.
So we're going to work on getting that for sure.
Yeah, so I guess, stay tuned, over the course of the next couple of days. So, obviously we've got these 2 matches up now, but I think over the course of the next couple of days, I've got the interview with Spencer coming. We are going to do a full just gameplay review, my thoughts on just the game as a whole, and just thoughts on what we think. What we liked, what we might not have liked so much, things we'd like to see maybe adjusted or changed a little bit. But overall, just full thoughts, and then, we'll try to get a full-person, actual full tabletop gameplay with everybody playing, just to show you guys kind of what that looks like. So stay tuned for it, and it'll be coming you guys' way. So go support the Kickstarter.
Jinx. Check out the Kickstarter for sure. Link is down in the description below.
Yes.
Tell your friends. If you have a local game store that sells board games, they do have a special tier just for game stores where you can get 5 copies of the game. Like $200 or something like that.
You get a bunch of mats too.
Yeah, and you can showcase the game at your LGS. Spread the word. We really want to get this off the ground and get this into the hands of you guys so you can have as much fun as we're having. Cycling through your entire deck every turn.
Just buying all the fusion fragments.
Buying fusion fragments.
Did that twice. It never worked once.
Well, we played a game off camera, and Carl kind of pushed my shit in with that strategy.
Yeah, so yes, we did play a game off camera.
And I think you had like 6 more victory points than I did after I had bought relics and had fusion fragments in my deck.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's viable. That's a strat. You can go for it. That's why these things are purchasable.
Yeah, fly under the radar when you got 3 other people they have to worry about.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, we want to get this game out there. We want to, let you guys have as much fun as we're.
Yes.
So.
All right, guys. Until next time. It's been fun.